Hey everybody, it's Steve here, and welcome to another episode of the Blockchain Homestead. So it is, what is it, February 6th today. We're at a nice bounce back, but obviously the markets took a tank yesterday down to, I think, 5,800 in Bitcoin was the low for yesterday for them. So pretty significant down days, but again, listening to Crypto Jay, the trader that I really enjoy on YouTube, he was calling for 7,500 once he saw that the trend lines were broken. Those were the old highs, and 58 was another Fibonacci type. 58 to 55 was another Fibonacci number for resistance. So we bounced off of that pretty good, and I think the lows are in. And I'll tell you one clear signal. Not only the fear in the market, people just absolutely, people getting divorced because one spouse wanted to get into Bitcoin over Christmas and one didn't, and, oh, you lost half our savings or whatever. That's part of why I know the bottom is in. The other is I am actually starting to wonder, like, did I really make the right decision? And again, I've been unshakable since 2013 that this is the future. So the fact that I'm having doubts during this downturn yesterday and today tells me that the bottom is pretty close. I'm not selling. I'm still buying. I go through that, right? I recognize that fear that comes up, that bubbles up, but that's a good opportunity to check your assumptions, right? We all make assumptions. It's how, we're pattern recognition machines as human beings, and you wouldn't be able to function in your daily life without making assumptions based on prior experience. So I did that today. I did a little inventory of what my assumptions are, right? And do my assumptions match the reality of the situation, and does that tell me that the long-term trend is still in place? So what are my underlying assumptions? Number one, Bitcoin and the blockchain represents a technological revolution. That is not gone away. That is still true. The underlying assumption is still true, demonstrably. The blockchain derives its value from encryption and from efficiency, in my opinion. It's a technological revolution, and we're just beginning to get out of the innovator stage and into the early adopter phase. And so that assumption is still correct. Another assumption for 2018. The buy pressure is more now than it was in 2017. This you can see in the number of people signing on to Coinbase and getting new accounts in Gemini. Robinhood just came out with their platform. So where you can trade cryptos, you can trade dollars into Bitcoin, I think, without fees. So I found out about it within 24 hours, maybe 36 hours of that news story coming out. I was told about it. I signed up, and I was number 900,000 in line to get the service once it starts in February. So, the buy pressure is there. The interest is there. The mainstream media is totally negative, but they're talking about it, right? What is it? The Gandhi had a famous line. It was first they ignore you, then they mock you, then they attack you, then you win, right? So right now I think we're in the tail end of the mocking phase, and we're beginning the attack phase. For the longest time they ignored Bitcoin, then they made fun of it. Now I think it's a mixture of making fun of it and attacking it, and then the next stage is we win, right? So take a word from Gandhi and sit tight and be right on that account. So there's that. And the other one is, along with the buy pressure, there's money pouring into the sector. Now, obviously, the market cap has gone drastically lower, which is true. But I want to show you something, and I always try to have one of my visuals here for you. So I'll show you just a rundown of what's been going on. Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Now this is dollar prices. So Bitcoin's down about 55%, Litecoin's down about 53%, Ethereum's down about 37% in the last 30 days. This is the last 30 days. And so now what do you have? You have the market is down 50%. You're feeling like you made a huge mistake. You were listening to this idiot Steve, and he said it was a good idea, and why did I listen to him? And he sounded like he knew what he was talking about, and blah, blah, blah. So I can understand seeing those sorts of price drops that it would cause me, right, to check my underlying assumptions. So I did. So I checked into some of my other altcoins that I'm invested in. You've heard me talk about Pillar, and I think I mentioned these other two, Neo and EOS. Those are both kind of like Ethereum platforms. They're smart contracts, and it's their own blockchains. They're really cool. And Pillar is the wallet app that's going to be coming out soon. So in the last 30 days, right? This is real, right? In the last 30 days, Pillar's up 397% in the last 30 days. Is that a market that's failing? And no, money is flowing into that coin. That's a signal. Why? Who's doing it and why? Right? Somebody knows something. 397% in this last month while everything has been bleeding. There's been blood in the streets and carnage and people just absolutely losing their heads. And Pillar's up 397%. That's pretty amazing, right? So I'm up even more than that in that coin. I got it, back a little bit, but still, the last 30 days up 397%. Neo up 153% in the last 30 days. Okay, and EOS, same idea, right? Up 93%. Now in these cases, this is not the actual dollar price. I think the dollar price is the same or a little bit lower. This represents the price in Bitcoin. So money is flowing from Bitcoin into these three coins, right? And I've been buying all these in the last couple weeks. Not Pillar because it's been up so it's on a tear. So I'm gonna let it settle down before I buy again. But I've been buying Neo and EOS the last couple of days. Money is flowing into the sector still, right? People are buying Bitcoin, trading Bitcoin, and putting it into these other sectors. And this is in the midst of all this carnage. This tells me that these are some traders with some serious CO Jones, as Lionel likes to say. If you listen to Lionel, go find Lionel Media. He's awesome. But serious, like, these people have some backbone to them. If they're looking at this market down 50, 60%, and they're saying, I'm in on this coin, I'm in on this coin, I'm in on this coin. The sector isn't dying. The sector is still here. But it's a good time to check your emotions, check your underlying assumptions, and also check what kind of money you had invested in this. Did you risk your rent money or your kid's brace fund or whatever that is? If you did, this is a great feedback, right? Feedback is great. Feedback is neither positive nor negative. It's just feedback. It's information. So look at the information that the market's giving you. If you're way, 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 way too emotional right now, I'm going to wager that perhaps you invested money that you shouldn't have invested. I'm just speaking for myself. In times when I've been like this, where the market went down 10 or 15%, and I was like, oh my God, I need to get, I put money in that I shouldn't have put money in. If it's money that is just risk capital that I'm willing to lose, but also gain on, that's the kind of money, and it's a natural human reaction, right? The market was going up, and this is a good idea, and it really is the wave of the future. So maybe you risked a little more than you should have. Okay, just recognize it. Don't beat yourself up on it. Recognize it. Move forward. Learn that lesson. Learn that lesson that invest what you have to lose, right? Which keeps the emotion out of it. Also, another great feedback is, do you really believe in it, or are you just going along with the fad? If you really understand it and you really believe in it, then this is actually a buying opportunity. That's how I've looked at it. But, again, I'm a person that's a believer, maybe a true believer. I drank the Kool-Aid. You could say that. Maybe it's right. But I really do believe that it's a game changer as far as efficiency and technology and communications and all the different sectors that it's going to revolutionize. That's where I'm coming from, and this hasn't shaken that. This is just a price. This is a momentary blip. And so, although it doesn't feel like that if you bought in on credit, or you bought in on margin, or you bought in with your mortgage payment, and now your spouse or your significant other is questioning your sanity. I get it. My family questions my sanity all the time, so I'm used to it. So again, just to recap, the market's been down, but it's a time for reflection and introspection, to check your underlying assumptions, make sure everything is still right, and if it's not, get out, right? And if it is, stay in or increase your positions. That's what I've been doing. Again, it's not financial advice. I can't tell you what to do with your money, But what I'm doing is checking my underlying assumptions and moving forward from there. Money's still pouring into the sector, right? Again, I have coins that are up 400% in the last month. That's ridiculous, right? That's not a market where it's dead. This is a market that's just getting its legs, and the money is sloshing around back and forth, but it's here to stay, right? That's my firm conviction. I could be wrong. It's the opportunity of a lifetime, the largest transfer of wealth in human history, and it's the blockchain revolution. So none of this price action has been shaking me from that. Made me question it, but didn't shake my hands. So in a couple weeks when the market turns, I think we'll all be feeling a lot more secure in our convictions. So I look forward to that day. I'll be talking to you guys. Bye.